Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is Wing Nation here on wingnation.com, talking sprint car racing and setting you up for the big race weekend. We can't wait. It's going to be a big race weekend. I'm actually going to see some sprint cars this weekend. Oh, are you kidding me? Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post. I'm all fired up about this weekend. Erin, $14,000 to win. How's that sound?
That sounds pretty nice.
That sounds pretty nice. That's what they're doing in Kansas. Okay, the National Championship Racing Association, they have the Park City Cup Air Capital Shootout. It's at 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas. 360 sprinters, 3-night show, $14,000 to win. Bam!
That's impressive money right there.
That'll start your season out. You're a 360 racer in Kansas. That'll get your season off.
Or anywhere near you're going to it.
Exactly. That is going to be a big one. We'll talk about that as well. The Outlaws, let's hope the desert doesn't get rained out.
You never know the way this season
this season has been.
It might.
And 3 nights of racing in Pennsylvania, 3 nights of racing in Ohio. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
As we record this show, and sometimes after we record it, before we mash the button to play it, we end up with cancellations. So check your local radar.
Yes.
Check your local stations. Yeah, I
Check
mean,
the radar.
it's crazy. It really is. But one of the things that's not crazy is Ohio is such a rich state, such a great state in sprint car racing. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk to one of the guys that in many instances is behind the scenes, but he's taking a step in front of the scenes a little bit. Shane Helms, been involved in the sport for a long time, former racer, and he's taken over the reins, got the keys in his pocket now for Waynesfield Raceway Park. And so they start with a limited schedule this year. So want to talk to Shane to see what they have scheduled for up there and see where we're at. So we'll do that in just a little bit. So
Good
pretty
stuff.
exciting. Good stuff along the way. Speaking of good stuff, this past Friday night, the racers from the World of Outlaw, NOS Energy Sprint Cars, were at Keller Auto Speedway in Hanford, California. Dirt Vision had it for those who were not there. Johnny Gibson with the call. Leader Shane Stewart, but not for long because it's our Drydene Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week.
And now for the Drydene Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
But here comes David Gravel to the inside. Slide job. Now grabs the bottom, and David Gravel has the lead, at least for the moment. And David Gravel will lead lap 22.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Drydene Diesel All Death, the official death of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit drydene.com for more information.
An American tradition. Since 1889, Red Brand Fence has provided American farmers, ranchers, and homes with the highest quality fencing solutions built on tradition. Whatever your fencing needs, field, stockade, livestock, garden, electric, or specialty fencing applications, Red Brand has the fencing for your specific needs. Go to redbrand.com to find your fencing, local dealers, support, and guides. Made in the USA, Red Brand Fencing. That's redbrand.com for more information.
Instilled with Drydene's heritage of performance, Drydene Diesel All Def is built for the demands of today's diesel engines. Drydene Diesel All Def is perfect for owners and operators of on-road and off-road diesel trucks and cars that now require diesel exhaust fluid. Drydene, official motor oil and official diesel exhaust fluid of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. And as always, American-owned and operated. Visit drydene.com for more information.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing, as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Now back to the Wing Nation podcast.
It is the Wing Nation podcast here on Motor Racing Network, Wing Nation, and we're glad you joined us here. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post, and we're going to chat here with Shane Helms, who is with Waynesfield Raceway Park. Erin, before we start with Shane, Waynesfield,
yeah,
and you had said you'd never been there before.
I don't think I have. I know
okay.
I
remember
get
this
Wayne
joint.
County, Waynesfield.
You would remember this joint.
Okay.
I am telling you, this is carved out of a field.
That's
okay,
neat.
and this is a spectacular, wide, racy quarter-mile racetrack. A couple years ago, I watched Kyle Larson, Sheldon Hodenshield, and Tim Schaefer put on a show there. And Sheldon won. It's amazing they didn't have to replace all the planks in the grandstand. I thought there was going to be a riot. I mean, this is one of the great, I've been to all kinds of racetracks. This is one of the greatest racetracks around. Racetrack, the owners decided they may not want to go on any further, and in jumps Shane Helms with a limited schedule this year, and he joins us now on the line. Hello, Shane. Welcome into Wing Nation.
How are you guys doing today?
We are doing good. Shane, how in the wide world of sports did you get the promoter's hat back on again?
Oh, boy. Well, the last 10 years I've been trying to get Millstream. That's my home track. That's where, I watched my dad race for many years, cut my teeth there. So that's kind of another story, and it's just not worked out. And obviously, the deal with the Renegades came along, and we kind of got into more promoting than I was really looking for. Trying to promote some of the old timers, the Hampshire, the Furkel, and the Hewitt stuff. And so when Finley fell through it again and just couldn't make things work there, I guess we didn't have a whole lot of options. We were looking to do some things with Atomic again, and then maybe Wayne County, Fremont, and lo and behold, I seen Waynesville was on the schedule for Speed Week, and I gave Greg a call, and he's like, the funny thing, I was on my back porch walking around just getting ready to call you. So from there, we decided to put this together this year.
That's awesome. So what does the schedule look like? And talk about how you're honoring some of my favorite drivers growing up. Just talk about how this all come about.
Well, we're going to try to run this Sunday, but right now Northwest Ohio is pretty wet, and it looks like we're going to get some more weather. So it's going to be tough to get it in. If we get what they're calling for Thursday, it'll be tough Sunday. But we have then the next race after that will be July 3rd. That's on the schedule if we don't do a rain date for this weekend. That'll be the Hewitt. We are actually working right now. I've got a project that I'm demoing it's a high school. They're revamping their stadium and whatnot, and I'm coming up with a lot of seating. So I've talked to Greg, and we're going to try to, if you've been to Waynesfield, the racing and the racetrack's absolutely phenomenal. Yep. We need a little bit more seating. It's a small venue as far as the seating capacity, and so we're going to do a lot of work there to try to get the seating up to 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 seats. I'm hoping to do that before the Hewitt Classic. So to talk about the legends, I mean, if you know anything about Ohio and sprint car racing, the Bob Hampshire was just a block away from where I grew up. Obviously, he's had Keith Kaufman, he's had Furkel, Johnny Beeper, my dad. He's had obviously Hewitt, and a lot of great legends. Greg Wilson, Chad Kimmel all races cars. He's been doing this for a long time. There's not a neater guy out there, a harder worker than Bob. He's the type of guy that's built our sport. So I've got a lot of passion to kind of bring back that past and honor those guys for what they've done. Mm-hmm. Obviously, everybody knows Hewitt, and he may be one of the greatest race car drivers ever get in the sprint car, arguably, if not the best. And obviously, Rick Furkel, I hope Rick doesn't hear this, but Rick's just as well known and has done so much for racing. So I just want to appreciate what those guys have done to put us in the position that we're in now with the sport.
Boy, I am telling you, not a greater calling. We do a lot of work with the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, and we love the history of the sport.
Sure.
Especially as a guy that doesn't, I'm new to the sport, only been in it about sprint car racing as well. So I absolutely love it. And when I hear the names Furkel, Hampshire, and Hewitt, I just get all geeked up about it. So, and you heard probably the description. This racetrack, you talked about the lack of grandstands and getting more, but I am telling you what, there may not be a racier joint in America than this place. This racetrack, the size, the width, the shape of it, it is dynamite for 410 sprint cars.
I really don't think Greg was not much into sprint car racing. I think his son got involved, and some things happened at some other tracks, and so this gentleman decided he's kind of like I am. He's just hard-nosed and going to get it done one way or another, and he went out and decided to put his own racetrack in his backyard. Got farmland, and he built this thing. I think he had no idea what he was building for sprint car racing. Cole Duncan, we had a little bit of a get together and advertised the race this weekend, and he put it best. I'm trying to remember what he said, but it's like fighter jets in a gymnasium, and that's about the best I've heard it described. Once racing starts in the feature, it is bumper to bumper, side to side. It's nonstop, and the leader doesn't take him very long to catch the back of the field, and so. It's so exciting that you get caught up in one battle and you forget the leaders, fighting through traffic. And that show I was at too, we were racing with my son, and I remember that was one of the best shows I've ever seen with Larson, Sheldon, and Schaefer that year. So I've been a lot of places, and this is the raciest joint out there.
That's great stuff. Shane, I know it's early on. You're just getting this all going, but what's the goal? Is it moving forward if all goes well? Do you just stick to these big events? Do you want to promote the track year-round? What is the ultimate goal?
Well, I brought up the Renegade deal because I kind of got a relationship with Greg during that time, and we've got a relationship that's built. And their enthusiasm for the sport of racing was weaning a little bit. It was more work than reward. And he's a successful businessman and a farmer, and neither one of us need another source of income. Mm-hmm. But everybody knows that racing and promoting and taking care of a racetrack is pretty tough gig. So saying all that, I told him if we do anything, my passion's an open will, and that's what I want to do. So I want to put 4 or 5 shows on. I've got plans to do 50 lapper. I'd love to see the purse get up to 10,000 if I can get the stands right, things like that. But I also don't want to step on the toes of the local guys that are doing the weekly thing at the Fremonts and the Atticas. So I kind of want to be a special event right now. If I can find, going back to being busy, if I can find some help and somebody we can trust, I mean, I can see us kind of building a team there, and maybe if it works out, we'll run more than 4 or 5 shows. But right now, we just want to do the best we can do with those 4 or 5 shows and make them awesome. Good paying sprint car races. Like to get the non-wing for sure. We're going to run some 360s, and we'll look to maybe add some other forms of racing with us and just go from there. I don't know that the plan in the future is more racing, but I know that the plan is to try to make these shows pretty special in Ohio.
It sounds awesome. It really does. You start with a great racetrack. You add your passion to it. You add the great Ohio race fans and race teams to it. And to me, if Mother Nature will cooperate, it sounds like we've got the start of something really good. Shane, we wish you the best. Whatever happens this weekend and then throughout this year, we'll be following along closely. And we wish you the best on it at your new digs there at Waynesfield Raceway Park.
I appreciate it, guys. Take care.
There we go. Shane Helms. Boy, there's some passion right there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, you could tell. I love when you have a guy on that's just talking about just in Hewitt and Haudenschild and Kemmenaw and Hampshire and just he just lives it.
Yeah.
And he has lived, and in Ohio, we lose our minds talking all the time about Pennsylvania, and there's no denying that the Pennsylvania fans are the loudest. But when you look at Ohio, the depth of it is just unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick Ferkel, the Ohio Traveler. I mean, and to then have a guy like Shane who's just, Yeah, and Ferkel means so much for the sport. And Bob Hampshire, there's not a nicer guy. And Hodenshield, you don't need to, or Hewitt, you don't need to say anything other than Hewitt. Hewitt's his own adjective, verb, noun, everything,
Yeah, it's a neat place. I remember the first time I went to Bob Hampshire's, it was like, all right, well, Chad and, Bob's daughter live right here, and Ferkel grew up down here. Like, it was all in this small little area, and, Fremont's here. It was like, this is cool. Why didn't I get to grow up here? Like there's racetracks all within so many miles.
And in spending time with Kendra over in their neck of the woods, it was Brad Doty and Jack, and you're driving down the road. You're a sprint car fan. You're driving down the road. You go to the coffee shop, and here's Jack, Kenny, and Brad hanging out.
Yeah.
Huh? What? I mean, we need to bring a camera and then roll tape on that.
Seriously, maybe.
Maybe you got the but Ohio is such a great area, so really excited about it, and I hope we're sitting here, we record this, and you're going to watch this thing Thursday or Friday, and we know Mother Nature's being Mother Nature. We just hope for the best up there. If it doesn't work out for Shane this weekend at Waynesfield, and in July when they start it again, and get those seats in there, and y'all better get your butts in those seats. If he's going to put new seats in, y'all better go sit in them. Do the guy a favor. Go sit in those new seats.
Or at least be standing in front of him.
Or standing in front of him. Well, that's what a lot of it was that night I was there. Gosh, I am telling you, that's one of those races where that race there was an all-star race. It was a Sunday night, third night of Speed Week. And it's one of those races where simultaneously you hope it will end because you're just afraid your heart's going to explode. Because every turn, every lap, oh my God. One of them's inside, one of them's outside. They're in lap traffic. They're four wide coming down the backstretch. Here's Larson down low. The next lap, he's over the curb. Sheldon's in the middle of it. The crowd's going wild. You're watching this stuff. So one thing, you're like, I don't believe my ticker can take any more of this. And another one, you're sitting there saying, if this went on for the rest of my life, I would be the happiest person in the world. That's just how great it is, and it's Ohio. Ohio is so strong, and I just love it. Working on I'm hoping to get up there a couple times this year. Yeah, working on my summer schedule. Oh, you kidding me? I mean, this might be epic right here. So let's see. So again, we encourage you to check out the weather. The World of Outlaws are racing in the desert. Fingers crossed. Okay, fingers crossed. That we get some racing in. Slated to go the Wildcat Shootout in USA Raceway in Tucson and Arizona Desert Shootout at Arizona Speedway. We talked about that the top of the show, the National Championship Racing Associate, NCRA, 3-night show. If you're listening to this on Thursday, it starts tonight. I know Speed Shift TV's doing it. $14,000. This is one of those races that, and I may not be right with the numbers, but you get the gist of it. A few years ago it was 5. Yeah. And then they went to 7. And then can we squeeze it to 10? This is going to hurt. Yeah, we went to 10. And now all of a sudden we're going to 14 to win. 14,000 to win. So that is fantastic. That's at 81 Speedway. MOA starts off. IRA and MOA race together. King of the West starts off. Fast Series is at Atomic, and the Fast is going to be the sanction on the Waynesfield races. All the weekly action as well. St. Francis County in Farmington, Missouri starts up. A couple of things here that I'm all fired up about. My friend Pete Walton is hooking me up this weekend. USCS. Friday night, Carolina Speedway. Mm-hmm. Saturday night, the track Yo Mama warned you about. I've never been to Cherokee Speedway.
I still am haunted by that place.
You're haunted by that place.
I had a USCS race wrapped up, and I ran out of fuel. Past Kenny Adams, Terry Gray.
Oh, yeah. You packed a lunch if you passed Kenny Adams
and it was
Terry Gray.
Before they made the track smaller. It was fast, but about 3 other cars ran out of fuel, so I wasn't the only one who didn't obviously fill up the tank enough. And we had about 90 caution laps, but that's besides the point.
Well, there you go. So USCS, I'm all.
It's a great track.
Those of you that follow along, I love what Pete Walton has. I love the racers here in the Carolinas and those that come over from Tennessee and Arkansas and that area. It is going to be great. I want to mention this also. I know this is Wing Nation, okay? But our main man, Dylan Welch. Dylan is the co-host of Rip the Fence, okay? We've had this thing going on. They've done Rip the Fence. Dylan showed up at the race up at Indy last year in August.
The BC 39.
BC 39, the BC 39, and goes out there and qualifies for the A-Main. And none other than Keith Coons said if Dylan Welch would run these cars more than once a year, he'd be really, really good. Well, he goes, he has a respectable Chili Bowl, didn't get the result he wanted to. That's the one race a year that he traditionally has run.
Yeah.
Well, he put together a deal together with Billy Boat. So he's going to be racing down at the Kokomo. Well, up at Kokomo or over at Kokomo. Depends on where you live. He's going to be racing the USAC National Midgets Friday and Saturday night at Kokomo.
Nice.
So I'm all gassed up about Dylan doing that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's a good kid right there.
Yep.
Great kid. He's great. Been a great addition. He works with us on pit road for the NASCAR races. He's great. And Rip the Fence, folks. If you're not listening to Rip the Fence, traditional sprint cars. It's phenomenal. They have Robin Miller on this week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, no holds barred. Exactly.
Ever.
Okay. It is phenomenal. So check out Rip the Fence. And those of you that are into midget racing, check out the USAC National Midgets. And Dylan up at Kokomo. He gets to do qualifying laps because, see, the Chili Bowl is a passing points deal. He was trying to recall, and I forget what he told me the last time he's ran qualifying laps. Well, buddy boy, you better get up on that wheel. Better get up on that wheel. Yeah, you get out there for qualifying laps, you can make or break your weekend right there.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see what happens, but can't wait to see what happens with Dylan. Okay, finally, we have coming up next Wednesday is National Sprint Car Day. What is National Sprint Car Day, you ask? Well, we really have no idea. I mean,
But you don't have to. There's a National Everything Day.
Yes.
Today's like National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
Yes,
Seriously.
if peanut butter and jelly gets a day, we get a day,
Exactly.
by gosh. So we've selected a day. It happens to be 410 because of that, but that doesn't mean 360s, 305s, anyone else. We're going 410 because it's just kind of a cute number there, and it works off well. But so National Sprint Car Day is whatever it is you want. You want to put up balloons and noisemakers and just destroy your office? Go for it. Make sure you tweet your seat and show us, of course.
Destroy your office.
Yeah. You wear a T-shirt to work. Wear a Sprint Car T-shirt to work. We're going to get on social media. Tell us who your favorite driver. Tell us your favorite Sprint Car story. Tell us this. Tell us that. The beauty of it is, the weird part about it is we don't know what this is. The beauty of it is we don't know what this is. So you celebrate the way you celebrate. We'll celebrate the way we celebrate. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is going to celebrate by letting y'all in for free. Okay? Red Robin's up in Pennsylvania, they're going to let kids in for free. And so, I mean, and I know some other drivers and teams are starting to jump on board to go to try to work on some things too. But it's our day and hashtag Sprint Car Day. Yeah, let's figure. For Pete's sake, we're trying to make a national holiday bigger than Thanksgiving, okay? So let's just figure out how we do it all together. Exactly.
Serve some turkey.
Yes, serve some turkey. Yeah, maybe they'll open the church stand at Port Royal. Maybe they'll go up there and open the church stand, the Lutheran church stand, or whatever.
There you go. Or make something in honor of your favorite racetrack. Some pizza burgers,
tenderloin sandwiches.
Yes, tenderloin sandwiches. Craig whispered in my ear. Yeah,
or the corn and the
the corn dipped in the butter. Oh my gosh, I want to be an ear of corn so bad. Just hook me up on one of those things and just dip me in the butter like the corn at Knoxville. Okay, yeah, pizza burgers for Eldora.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, favorite. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
walking tacos.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. if a restaurant in your area sponsors race cars, go say we're celebrating National Sprint Car Day at that restaurant. I mean, I have no idea what this is. It's And how this started, we're way, way, way late. So I mean, there's people outside the door banging on the door. They need to get in here. That's all right. You'll get over it. Okay. This thing every year, someone does something on that, and I like 11 o'clock in that morning, and I think to myself, man, we need to do something with this.
Yeah.
This year, I wrote down like on my calendar, like in December. Remember, April 10th. Let's do something about it. So we're doing something about it. We don't even know what we're doing. Sometimes we do our best work when we don't even know what we're doing.
And it happens to be Casey Kane's birthday.
And it's Casey Kane's birthday, too. Yeah.
A sprint car driver's birthday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. So there you have it. So National Sprint Car Day is next week. Now, we've talked about all these races that are going on, Mother Nature cooperating, of course. You can find out about all of them at wingnation.com because we have the broadcast calendar. So mash the button, link right in. Dirt Vision, Speed Shift, Racing Boys, whoever's doing it. Lock it in, the cushion, wherever we need to go, and get all the races along the way. So you can check that out at www.wingnation.com. Now, coming up on Saturday, it is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. Paul McMahon joins us. How about that? It's going to be awesome. That is Saturday morning on MAV TV. Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Wing Nation podcast.
This has been the Wing Nation podcast. The Wing Nation podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.